Hey YouTube, my name is Devin and welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you my Christmas book haul, and I decided to make this its own video just because I got so many books for Christmas and it would have made my other video too long. So I cannot wait to show you all the books I got. I'm not going to be doing a December book haul this month just because other than the books I got for Christmas, I only got 2 other books, so I'm just going to show those to you now before I get into my Christmas books. The first one is Smudging Marks by Claudia Osmond, and all I know about this book is that it's about an orphan named Simon who can't remember anything about his childhood. And I also picked up the first Diary of a Wimpy Kid book by Kinney because I've said this like 6 times. I'm collecting these books in the hardcovers and I only have the first one in a paperback, so I decided to get it in the hardcover and then I'll just donate the paperback that I have. Now on to my Christmas books. My mom got all these books off my Amazon wish list, which was pretty genius of her actually, because I didn't know that she was going to be shopping from that, and then she was saying things about how she was ordering books for me, and I was like, how'd you know which books to get me? And she said that she got them off my Amazon wish list. The first books are Great Expectations by Charles Dickens and Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. These are the Classic Lines watercolor editions, and they are beautiful. I mostly got them because of how pretty they are. I've read Great Expectations, but I haven't read Pride and Prejudice yet, and I plan on reading both soon. But these are going to look so pretty on my shelf, and I want to collect the other watercolor editions of these Classic Lines classics, and then I'll have a complete collection of them. My dad was a little bit concerned about my sanity when I opened these next books because they are volumes 1, 2, 3, and 4 of Death Note, and he was like, oh, Death Note, that sounds like a happy story, and he was like giving me this weird look, and I was like, Dad, they're graphic novels. I mean, they do look a little bit intense, but I can't wait to read them. I heard about these books on Padfoot and Prong 07's channel, and apparently it's about this kid and he finds this notebook, and whoever's name you write in the notebook dies from a heart attack. So I guess he starts trying to use it to kill criminals and stuff. I cannot wait to read these. And also, I think that these will look awesome on my shelf. I love the black pages. I love the art style. If ever there was a book that described booktube, I would say that it was Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins, because I've heard pretty much every booktuber I watch talk about this book on their channel at least once, and I had never read it. I've never read anything by Stephanie Perkins, so I cannot wait to read this because everybody says that it is like the greatest contemporary and it's just such a great romance story. So we'll see what I think. Next, I have Formerly Shark Girl by Kelly Bingham, which is the sequel to Shark Girl by Kelly Bingham. I read this book last year and I loved it, loved it, loved it. These books are actually written in verse, so they're super quick to read. Like, there's barely any words on every page. It's about a girl who loses her arm in a shark attack, and so she has to go through the process of learning how to live her life with only one arm, and she loses her dominant arm, and she was actually an artist, so she's learning how to draw with her non-dominant hand, and it's just really challenging. And then there's like also a romance aspect, and she's like, you know, trying to have friends, and she feels weird around everyone because she feels like everybody's staring at her prosthetic arm, which I forget what she calls it. She has a certain name for her prosthetic arm. She has 2 different ones. One of them looks like a hook and the other one looks more like a hand. But it was just really interesting to read about her and her phantom pain and like her process of getting back into daily life because she felt like she couldn't do anything with only one arm. I just went on a whole tangent about that, but these books are just really good, so I think once I finish this one, maybe I'll do like a duology review on them because I think that they're really interesting and it's not something that I've read a lot about. The next book I have is The Barcode Tattoo by Suzanne Weyn, and all I know about this is that the government is having people get these tattoos on their arm like this girl has, and they say that it'll make your life easier and it'll make you fit in, but I'm guessing that that's not true. On the back it says, individuality versus conformity, identity versus access, freedom versus control. The Barcode Tattoo, everybody's getting it. Next I have the second book in the Amanda Project series, which I didn't know existed until recently, so then I added it onto my Amazon wish list because that's just kind of how I keep track of the books I want to buy. And so when my mom got me this, I was like really surprised because it was so random, but I'm really happy I have it because I read the first one probably like 3 years ago, and it left on such a cliffhanger, and I was like, that cannot be the end. And it's not. There's like 8 more, but I'm just going to see kind of what happens in the second one and see if I want to move on with the series because I don't really remember that much about it. I'm definitely going to have to reread the first one. Last but certainly not least, I have Cinder by Marissa Meyer, and you're probably already familiar with this book, but in case you aren't, it is a retelling of the fairy tale Cinderella, but Cinderella is now called Cinder and she's a cyborg. And I have no idea what it's about other than that, but I really want to read it. And also, I really, really love this cover. Just kidding, that is not the last book I have. I forgot about the antique book that I got, and that is this little book of Methodist hymns. And this book was published in 1861. I found it at one of the local antique stores in the town where I live, and I was not leaving the store without it. I just could not part with it because I love it so much. My mom decided to buy it and give it to me for Christmas, and it was a hefty price tag that this little baby carried, but I totally understand why. Like, 1861. It's insane. And it also was more expensive because it has this latch, which apparently makes it a lot more valuable. But it is just like 700 pages of little Methodist hymns, and my mom said that in the olden days they would have carried this in their pocket with them everywhere that they went. And I just cannot get over it. It is so small and cute. And I just really like the history of it, like thinking that somebody carried this book in their pocket and sang from it and studied it. It just really means a lot, you know, like with antique books, it's more than just books. It's the stories behind the books and kind of the mystery of who owned it. I'm a Methodist, so it just means that much more to me. That's all the books I got for Christmas this year. I got some really, really good ones, and I cannot wait to start reading. I want to wish everybody a happy new year, and I know this video is going up a little bit late, but that's because my family decided to take an impromptu trip to Maine, so I didn't have time to record it when I wanted to, but I am wearing my chemistry shirt because puns are funny to me. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys!